Hello, ladies and gentlemen of YouTube. It has been quite a while since I've uploaded my last video. This is just because of lack of initiative, laziness, all the excuses under the sun. But I'm back on my grind now. I plan to upload once a week for you guys, whether that's vlogs, workout videos, informative stuff for you guys. It's all up to you. So you can either comment on this video what you would like to see in future videos, or tell me on Instagram through DM or a comment as well. I'm always looking for new video ideas, so yeah, let me know. This intro is gonna be kind of an overview of myself and kind of where I'm at in my life. I never naturally or openly disclose kind of different parts of my life to people. It's just not really who I am, but with all this social media influencer kind of new age on Instagram and YouTube and all that, disclosing your personal life and like your personality and kind of what you got going on is typically how you grow and how you gain exposure. So it's again, as I said, not natural for me, but I'm open to trying it out, I guess. So I guess I'll start from a few years ago. I've been working out for maybe 3 years now, consistently, like weight training. So I've been working out for maybe like, I don't know, like 10 years. Like I've done like dry land for competitive sports and like training like here and there with like dumbbells over the years, but I really got into it in my first year of university, which was 3 years ago. Yeah. And I never touched a barbell until grade 12. And then after that summer, after grade 12, I really started getting into it and started working out at my university gym. And I attained a huge passion for it ever since. Weightlifting is, as I said, a huge passion of mine. I'm currently involved in both powerlifting and bodybuilding styles of training. So I want to compete in powerlifting next February 2020, in a powerlifting meet, and I want to compete in bodybuilding eventually as well. I have no idea when I'm going to do that though. Yeah, I'm currently battling a few injuries. If you follow me on Instagram, you know this. My shoulder is the main one, and so it's kind of prohibiting me from doing a lot of bench press is the main thing. But yeah, just any like overhead press, a lot of pushing exercises with the hammer grip, like by my side is okay for it, but I'm kind of restricted in that regard, which sucks. For the most part, I'm doing push-pull legs. I've been doing that for a couple of years now, and I'm gonna do that until my shoulder's out of the woods. Because right now, my level of expectation for my workouts, or I guess for me to consider a workout like satisfying and productive, I don't feel any pain. So whether that be like my knees, which were a troublesome area for a while, or right now my shoulder. But until I'm out of the woods in terms of injuries, I'm pretty much gonna keep it simple and just try to get back to where I was. Because I was stronger and bigger a year ago, which is slightly discouraging, but also extremely motivating. You kind of like have to flip it in that sense for your mindset. But yeah, it's tough looking at pictures like from a year ago. I even posted a side-by-side picture on Instagram with a picture from a year ago and a picture from like a few months ago, and I was way more lean and bigger a year ago. So it's definitely, the injuries have definitely taken a toll on me, and it's largely because I played competitive sports, as I said, without stretching seriously. Like, you know, you always like stretch like warm up or after games or whatever the case may be, but you never, like when you're growing up, when you're a kid, you never really do it for the benefits of it, just like kind of going through the motions. And I certainly did not utilize it as much as I should have. So yeah, the lack of stretching is catching up with me now, and is a large part of why I'm dealing with stuff like this in my knee right now. But yeah, that's enough about my workout journey. So yeah, the reason for this video is, again, kind of giving you guys a little insight into my life and who I am. One of my main goals is becoming an athlete, along with tens of thousands of other influencers online. So obviously it's like no easy task, and doing videos like this I think is a good first step in terms of getting kind of a fan base, not a fan base, but like a community of people that kind of like know who I am and rely on me for like informative content and see value in me. So that's kind of what I'm striving to do right now. In terms of the rest of my life, I was in university, like I said. I was in engineering, and got into mechanical engineering, as I was particularly passionate about cars and the exterior design of cars, and that was kind of my thing for a while. But as I said, that was also the first year of university was the year I started getting into fitness, and that kind of shifted to my main passion over design and cars and that creative aspect. So yeah, I stayed in engineering for 2 years. The spring of 2018 was my last semester, at which point I decided to drop out. Well, I decided to drop out the fall. I decided to not enroll the fall of 2018. That's when I kind of decided to risk it a little bit and kind of go more the fitness route. And the source of that was a fitness app idea I had. Now this app is a social media platform specifically for fitness, which I have an Instagram page for. You guys can check it out if you like. It's in the bio of my personal Instagram. But essentially what it is a social media platform particularly for creating and tracking habits and goals within a community setting, and focusing more on the process of your fitness and personal development journey, and helping each other along the way. And the source of this idea kind of stemmed from all of the stigma around social media right now, especially in the fitness industry, because Instagram, as useful and connective as it is, it can be a very negative place for some people, whether it's comparing your body to someone else's body and then feeling bad about yourself, or feeling discouraged because you don't really know how to attain something that you see on Instagram, whether it be like a body, like I said, or a lifestyle, or a car, whatever the case may be. So that's kind of how I saw a gap in kind of the social media platforms, where there should be something focusing on the process and helping each other and tracking goals and just focusing on all the habits that can allow you to be the best version of yourself, rather than trying to be the best version of someone else, you know? So as I said, I can make a whole separate video for this, kind of going through all the features and the purpose of it in another video, but I'll leave it at that for now. As I said, you can check it out. There's a link to the Instagram page for it in my personal bio, and that page right now, it just displays the user interfaces. I created a prototype for it where it's just the pictures of the screens essentially, so you can kind of see what the app's all about and all the different features I have for it so far. And if you have any feedback or suggestions for it, you can DM me or that account, and I'd be happy to listen to your feedback and potentially implement something that you say, if there's enough interest in it, essentially. So yeah, I'll leave it at that for now. That's kind of an ongoing thing. I'm also personal training right now at Good Life Fitness. So that's kind of my intermittent job while I kind of figure everything else out, because I still need to be making money, especially when I'm not in school, to kind of keep the dream alive, you could say. So I'm doing that. I'm working out there. I'm also getting really into day trading, which is, for those of you who don't know, stock trading, and making a trade within the same day, a buy and sell within the same day. And there's obviously a lot of controversy around like stock trading and penny stocks and like risk and losing all your money and all that stuff. But I've obviously like dug through it and invested a lot of time and money into my education. And if you do so and really put the hours in, it can become a viable and sustainable source of income if you really commit yourself to it. And that's what I'm doing right now. I'm spending numerous hours each day just trying to make that work. And my goal is to be able to quit my current personal training job as soon as my income from day trading becomes sufficient enough to do so. And yeah, so those are the main two things that are taking up my time right now. I haven't really worked on my app in the last few months, just because at this stage it's kind of stagnant right now, because I'm getting an initial version developed either in the spring in May or in the fall of this year. So that's going to happen, and by then I want to be able to have more time to do so. Another thing I'm really passionate about is personal development. So personal development could be just like learning like different interpersonal skills, mindsets, perspectives. There's really no specific definition for personal development, just the main ways that I kind of go about it are reading and meditating, which are probably the most two popular ways to do so. So my morning routine consists of waking up and immediately making my bed, which might seem like a mundane thing, but it's actually a bit of a mindset thing, where if you where if you wake up, make your bed, you're in more of a task-oriented mindset and a little bit more organized, which can set you off to have a better start to your day. And a famous saying is, if you win the morning, you win the day. So making sure that your morning is productive and positive as possible is huge in kind of winning your day. Secondly, after I make my bed, drink some water, shower, take a cold shower actually. So with a cold shower, I found that it builds a lot of discipline, because obviously, like, when you wake up in the morning, how motivated are you to wake up, get out of your nice warm bed and take a cold shower? Not at all. So I find that a cold shower, it doesn't have to be freezing either, just like uncomfortably cold. And learning how to control your breathing in an uncomfortable situation is a humongous skill. Not in life in general. So like, often when you enter an emotional situation or a risky or tense situation, whether it be with someone you have a relationship with, or with work, or with a decision you have to make, human nature is to get into that fight or flight response. So you may not be thinking with the most logic or most analytically. So learning how to control your breathing in those situations kind of calms you down, gets you out of that fight or flight, and allows you to make more logical and analytical decisions. And after the shower, I meditate. So I started off with guided meditation, which is what I recommend to get into meditation. It's just a lot easier. There's a bunch of different apps you can use. I particularly use Insight Timer, which I'll link in the description of this video. But there's the option within Insight Timer to either do guided meditation or just a timer with sounds in the background to do your own freestyle meditation. And guided meditation is essentially someone telling you to, like, control your breath, clear the thoughts from your head, stuff like that. And it's really nice off the start to just learn how to do meditation. But after a while, once you've kind of got the hang of it, the voices can almost interrupt you from your own flow and your own meditation. So at that point, I switched to just the freestyle, where you can choose like a white noise in the background, just like a nice soothing sound, and you can do your own meditation. And that's kind of been the single most significant catalyst in my personal development, because there's so many different benefits you can take away from meditation. And the most significant factor I've found from meditation is self-awareness and clarity. And this self-awareness and clarity is mainly allowed me to kind of view my daily interactions and emotional responses from a bird's eye view. So if I have an emotional response to something, I can quickly analyze what that emotional response is sourced from. And then a lot of the times it's a type of insecurity, or I'm not satisfied with that particular portion of my life. So once you're aware of something, it's so much easier to kind of attack it and implement action to fix it. And from that regard, you'll quickly become a lot more secure in your daily life, and things won't bug you as much. You'll become much more of a stable person, a more emotionally intelligent person that way. And that's the most significant thing I've found from meditation. It's always a work in progress. It's a moving target, and just constantly getting better at it. And like it's a practice. Like, it's practicing meditation. So you never should put too much pressure on yourself. Like, one of the main things with meditation is like clearing thoughts from your head, and it's impossible. After like 3 or 5 breaths, there's going to be thoughts. There's going to be the stresses from your day coming back. You just have to it's easy to be hard on yourself for allowing those thoughts to come back in your head, especially when the objective is to keep them out. But it's a practice. You just have to keep working at it and keep getting better. And the act of the practice, the process will will implement those benefits along the way. You don't have to be perfect at meditation to realize the benefits of it. Just the baby steps of improving a meditation will do that for you, and it can, in my opinion, change your life. So I meditate each morning 10 to 20 minutes, and it's just a constant work in progress, and I love it. After I meditate, I start reading. I'm usually reading 10 to 15 pages, and for a while I read like self-development books, like books that kind of improve my interpersonal skills, or like learn something new about emotion, or like there's like thousands of books you can get that will, like self-help books, right? But I've recently been reading more day trading books just because as of right now I'm prioritizing my education and my skill for stock trading over my personal development, because I'm doing that with meditation, and as I said, I'm just prioritizing other things. It's tough because there's so many different books that are immediately and very significantly beneficial to you. You just have to prioritize which one you think you need the most at the moment, and for right now that's day trading. And after I read, that whole process approximately takes an hour. So wake up, make my bed, drink water. I miss something actually. I usually stretch for 10 to 15 minutes just because my traps or legs are sometimes tight after I sleep. So stretch, shower, read, and meditate. Usually all of that takes about an hour. And then I go through that whole process without looking at my phone. So I plug in my phone across the bed, like across the room. So it eliminates the possibility of hitting snooze in the morning, and it also does not allow you to be on it before you go to bed, because it's just a complete waste of time, a complete distraction, and the light from your phone keeps you up, keeps your brain active. So eliminating that possibility is largely beneficial as well. And I go through that whole process in the morning, as I just mentioned, without my phone. It's human nature to look at your phone as soon as you wake up. It's an instant dopamine release, like you have new emails, you have a couple texts or whatever, you have a bunch of Instagram notifications, you have whatever notifications you have on your phone, and then it's just going through the motions. Instagram, dopamine release, messages, dopamine release, email, Snapchats, dopamine, and it's just a cycle, and you instantly enter your day in a completely reactive state, and then you go through the rest of your day in a reactive state. You're vulnerable to the environment. Whereas if you start your day in control and going through a routine that benefits you and progresses you into the best version of yourself constantly, you're in control. And as I said, if you win the morning, you win the day. So avoiding that instant gratification, having the discipline to not look at your phone has benefits in itself, and kind of doing things that are beneficial for you, such as reading and meditation, will just set you up so nicely for each day. It'll put you in a more positive mindset. It'll put you in a more task-oriented mindset. And that's kind of been my secret weapon in accomplishing all my goals during the day. And then I look at my phone after that period of time, after the 1 hour it takes for me to do my morning routine, because I'm not perfect. I'm still kind of held captive by the dopamine release that social media and all the different apps provide for you. It's a constant work in progress. I'm constantly working on lowering my average daily or average weekly Instagram time, which you can check through your insights on Instagram. For a while it was at like 2 hours average each day, which is a month out of my year, and that kind of blew my mind. I'm like, wow, like what am I on Instagram a month out of my year for? Like what else could I be accomplishing in that period of time, right? So that's something I'm focusing on. Also your iPhone or at least iPhones, I don't know if other phones do it, but they send you like a weekly report of your screen time, and my average screen time was usually 4 to 6 hours daily, right? So it's like, what am I doing? That's that's a ridiculous amount of time, and it's like 95% of it is wasted time. So just being aware of that issue, like I said, can be the catalyst towards implementing daily habits and action towards eliminating that issue. And then nightly routine is also a huge thing for me. That is a lot of a weaker point for me compared to my morning routine, because I just have so much stuff going on in my mind by the end of the day, things I accomplished, things I didn't accomplish, like unsatisfactory events that happen during the day, things I'm really pumped about that happen during the day. Your mind's just busy, right? So it's super hard to wind down, especially if you're not physically or mentally exhausted, which I sometimes am, but a lot of the times I'm not. So you kind of have to force yourself to wind down, and by implementing a 1 hour nightly routine, for an example, can help you do that, because it's kind of a signal to your body and to your brain that you need to start winding down and it's time for bed. And my nightly routine that I'm working on implementing into my evenings every day is starting off by putting my phone away an hour before I go to bed. So that would again eliminate the distraction, eliminate the waste of time, and just allow your brain to become a little less active because of all the eliminating all the stimulants from social media and all the different apps that you have will just allow you to wind down a little bit. After I put my phone away, I have a productivity planner, which I'll also link in the description because I think it's an awesome tool to have. But essentially, it's I use it to reflect on my current day in terms of task completion, productivity, whatever you want to reflect on, even interactions in social situations and emotion that I have. I always like to reflect on how my insecurities affect my daily interactions, and just kind of go from there. And then writing things down can also, so if something happens during your day that you're kind of worried or stressed about, like you forgot to hand in an assignment or you hurt your knee or something like that, it's writing it down, whatever it is, and then kind of writing like a 2-sentence plan for how you're going to implement steps to fix it, can just allows your brain to put it to the side and not have to worry about it as much. It's an actual psychological thing that if you write something down, you think about it less, and you're more you kind of have more of a belief that it's going to be taken care of for the next day or the next week, for example. So reflecting your day is a huge part of my nightly routine. Second thing that the productivity planner has is planning the next day. So the way it does that is it has 5 open format kind of rows that you can set your tasks for the next day in order from most important to least important. So your most important task is, in this case, defined as if no other tasks were completed, you'd be satisfied with your day in just completing this one task. And often that one task is swept under the carpet because of fear and because of procrastination. So for example, like I could, if let's say my 2 tasks for the day are studying 4 hours for day trading or recording this video, which will take like 10-20 minutes. Like I would definitely put recording this video as my first priority, and day trading as my second priority, because doing something like this is a lot more uncomfortable for me and is a lot more important in the long run. And then once I get this out of the way, it's really easy to just put my head down and do work that I enjoy. Whereas if you have a bunch of small tasks that you do first, like appointments, 20-minute homework, stretch for a bit, it's easy to do a bunch of little things throughout your day and then completely disregard the most important tasks. So if you have a total of 10 tasks during your day, the first one is the most important one, and the other 9 are descending in importance, and you complete those 9, but not the most important one. That's often what people do on a daily basis. They do the easy, small things and then leave the big things on the table. And that's how you stay stagnant. Yeah, as I said, I'll put the link to that planner in the description. After that, I plan my day in my day planner. So what time is going to do the tasks. If I work, I'll put my hours in my day. It just kind of allows you to be more organized. And if you write something, if you want to do something, the odds of it being completed increase drastically if you write down when and where it will happen. So again, another psychological thing, planning your day keeps you more organized. After that, I start stretching, and depending on what I worked out that day, it'll be something different. I usually do at least one of rolling or stretching my upper or lower body. So for one night, I might roll my whole body, or roll and stretch my upper body, or stretch my whole body, just different combinations depending on what I'm feeling. And if I have enough time, if I start my routine early enough, I'll just roll and stretch my whole body, just because it's a huge maintenance thing. You can't just roll and stretch 3 times a week if you're working out like 5-6 times a week. you're not going to get any more flexible or any more mobile, and those injuries aren't going to go away. You have to completely, just like anything, you have to work every day. You have to build those habits if you want to get somewhere. So I'll do that after I plan my day, and that honestly helps wind me down as well. Right now, like if I'm rolling out and it's like the evening time, I can instantly just start feeling more tired just because I've done it so many times. And by now it's a signal for my body to go to bed and start winding down. Two things I want to add to my evening routine are, again, another meditation session and another reading session, I guess you could say. Those, I have my routines written down. I wrote those down. I haven't done them once. It's been written down for like 2 weeks now. Just because, as I said, I'm not perfect. Like I'm proud of myself for how far I've come, but I'm still aware of how far I have yet to go. And this personal development thing, like I said, it's a moving target. You're always working on bettering yourself, and you're always kind of working on perfecting your routines, or not perfecting, but improving your routines. And so yeah, those are two weaknesses I have, because once I'm done stretching, like I don't feel like reading, you know, I'm tired, you know, it's a lack of initiative, it's laziness, you know, I'll admit my shortcomings for sure. But yeah, that's essentially what I plan to cover in this video. I went way more into depth with the personal development than I planned on. It's probably gonna take up a large chunk of this video. And if you watch the whole thing, I love you. Because this is probably gonna be a long one. I was actually gonna add a workout that I did yesterday at the end of this, but I might just make that a separate video because this one is quite long. Or I might add it in, I don't actually know yet. I'll see how long it ends up being after I edit it. But that is kind of my initial disclosure of myself and my life and my personality and kind of where I'm at to you guys. Yeah, once again, this was definitely a comfort zone push to me because although on the grand scheme of things, this isn't like that much of a stretch for comfort zone, but right now it's probably one of the most vulnerable things I've done. Vulnerable meaning that it's open to judgment, it's open to skepticism, it's open to a number of things that people out there could potentially comment like negatively, or like, you know, day trading is fucking stupid, you know, like just a bunch of different stuff. So I hope that you guys feel like you know me a little bit better, because I after doing this, I honestly enjoyed it a little bit. You know, I was kind of shitting my pants before this. I had to actually meditate for like 5 minutes, just like calm myself down, control my breathing, get out of that fight or flight, like I said. Just because like this was an uncomfortable thing for me to do, you know. But after doing it, I'm definitely a lot more comfortable in front of the camera. As you guys have probably noticed and maybe complained to yourself, I've been talking ridiculously fast this entire time. It's just something I do when I'm nervous, and that will get better over time as well. Everything is a process. You just have to view everything as a process, and that's kind of the mindset I'm in right now. Anyways, I'm not going to talk any more about any of that stuff. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'll link all the important stuff that I talked about. I'll have to watch this again to decide what that is in the description, including my Instagram and my app page if you're interested in checking that out. And comment what you would like to see in the future. As I said, it could be vlogs, informative content, workout videos, anything under the sun. So yeah, that will conclude this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Holy shit.